What's up, guys? Before I get into the rankings, let's go ahead and read off the patch notes and talk about these insane Doom buffs. Ready? So let's start out with Doomfist. Rocket Punch, impact damage range, min to maximum, increased from 15 to 30 to 25 to 50, which means that you get more damage from just hitting an impact punch on a player. Wall slam damage range reduced from 20 to 40 to 10 to 30. So that's to compensate for the punch impact damage buff. Basically, you're getting the better damage from his kit now from just hitting the punch rather than getting the wall impact, which the wall impact is more of an assist. Empowered Rocket Punch Slam stun duration reduced from 0.5 to 1 second to 0.25 to 0.75 seconds. So they nerfed the stun duration of Empowered Punch, but listen to this. Non-empowered Rocket Punch now stuns for a minimum of 0.25 seconds on a wall slam. Honestly, I think this is a massive buff because a lot of the times when you get the stun with the Empowered Punch, you don't need the entire second to kill somebody. 0.75 is plenty, and now your regular punch is going to have that stun effect as well, making you much more of a threat on Doom. Empowered Rocket Punch knockback radius reduced from 4 to 3 meters. Minimum time before cancel option becomes available, reduced from 0.25 to 0.12, and the cooldown was reduced from 4 to 3 seconds, even though this was already in the game. So that's all the changes to Rocket Punch, making Doom way more consistent and having way more opportunities to get his own kills. Power Block cooldown reduced from 8 to 7 seconds, and the duration was increased from 2 to 2.5. Minimum damage mitigated, so Empower Rocket Punch reduced from 90 to 80. This is a very noticeable change. Just with how breakpoints work, it's very easy to tell. You'll know it when you play it. That's all I'm going to say. Meteor Strike now empowers Rocket Punch on landing, which was very needed. I actually like that change. I think that's a good one. Enemy slow duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Not sure about the slow, but Meteor Strike definitely needed something, and obviously you don't want it to be a corny kill bot where it just lands on somebody and you easily kill them. So I'm unsure about the Rocket Punch, but I think, compared to other ults in the game, I think it's fine. The best defense passive, maximum temporary health increased from 150 to 200, and the amount of health gain per target hit with an ability is increased from 30 to 40. So big. These are the biggest Doom buffs we've seen in a minute. So I'm excited for these. Junker Queen, torso and head hitbox volume size increased 12%. Rampage duration reduced from 5 to 4.5 seconds. Ultimate cost reduced by 10%. And commanding shouts cooldown was reduced by 1 second. Then her passive, Adrenaline, the healing multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.25x, which is a good change. So pretty decent Junker Queen buffs. Damage roll passive no longer provides a movement speed bonus, and reload bonus is up from 25 to 35% instead. Bastion, his artillery, delay before projectile drops reduced to 0.5 second or 0.6 seconds instead of 1. Explosion damage reduced from 300 to 250. No longer self damages, and the delay is reduced by 20% in between firing shots, so you can shoot faster. Reconfigure, cooldown reduced from 12 to 10 seconds, was very needed. Sojourn, railgun, energy delay before draining reduced from 8 to 5 seconds. Secondary fire, damage fall off, starting range reduced from 70 to 40 meters. Secondary fire, which is her railgun, by the way. Critical hit multiplier reduced from 2 to 1.5, which means she no longer one-shots in the head. Secondary fire damage now scales linearly with energy, 30 to 130 damage. 1 energy converts to 1 damage added. Primary fire damage per projectile increased from 9 to 10. Overclock energy charge rate increased by 20%. These are pretty good nerfs to Sojourn, bringing her in way more, but letting her still be good at what she does. Some extra. Photon projector beam charge rate and decay rate increased by 20%. Primary fire ammo consumption rate increased from 7 to 10 per second. Primary fire gains ammo from barriers again. Tracer. Damage has been reverted from 5 back to 6 after a bug was fixed that impacted Tracer's damage distance fall off. Tracer's going to be doing a lot of damage here. Can't lie to you. Insane character. Going to be incredibly strong this patch. Ana, Sleep Dart cooldown reduced from 15 to 14 seconds. Kiriko, arm hit volume width reduced by 15%. Also added a wall climb option. Kitsune Rush, ultimate cost increased by 10%. Movement speed bonus reduced from 50 to 30%. And the cooldown rate was reduced from 3 to 2 times faster. Protection Suzu, cast time reduced from 0.15 to 1.1 second. Kunai increased from 12 to 15, and Swift Step can now be held to activate. Kiriko will still be meta. I think she's still by far the best support. I think Kitsune is still the best option, and she still has the best options to duel the characters that are going to be very good on this patch. Mercy, weapon swap time reduced from 0.5 to 0.35, and ammo increased on the blaster from 20 to 25. So yeah, those are all the changes. Let's get into my thoughts on what's good and what's not. Here's our tier list. Without waiting any longer, let's get right into the action. If you're new to the channel, though, please consider hitting that sub button. So, okay, Ana. Ana did get a buff this pack. She got 1 second less on her sleep dart. That being said, she's either B or C tier, man. Like, she, especially with Doomfist, which we are going to get to in a bit, and Tracer. Ana, I'll say B because in some ranks you could probably get away with playing her, but at high level play she's going to be awful. Ashe, I'm also going to put in B tier. I don't think that she's got the tools on her kit to deal with what's going to be strong. But she's middle of the pack. Like, you can get value on her, but I still don't think she's going to be anything incredible. Baptiste, I'm also going to put in B tier. I mean, I think Bap is better than Ana, and he's going to be pickable for sure, especially on the right map. But I can't say that he's going to be strong enough of a character into what's good to be picked consistently. So I think he's good. He's decent. Bap is decent. Bastion, I'm going to say the same thing, even with his buffs. I don't think he's going to be an exceptional hero. I don't think his style of play fits well into what's going to be really good in the game. So yeah, I think he's not abysmal, but he's definitely not going to be a top tier hero. The same goes for Brig. I know you guys are seeing me start off with a lot of B tier heroes here. I mean, I think that good Brig players at high level play might be able to get a lot of value in terms of zoning and keeping Inspire up in what the meta, and I think is going to be Hyperdive yet again. But she just doesn't do anything exceptional, but I think like good Brig players on the right map could still like get decent value. But either way, I don't think she's like an exceptional pick. I think she's just kind of decent at best. The same goes for Cassidy. He's too diveable on this pack. He didn't get any big changes. He's not abysmal, but he's not good either. Like, a lot of these characters right now are in a weird, like, middle ground state where they're not quite good, but they're not quite bad, and it just seems like how they play is just a little bit outdated. Yeah, so that's Cassidy, and now we're gonna see some difference here. Doomfist, I think, is gonna be S tier. I've never seen a hero get this many buffs in one pack. Like, he is literally, it's God Doomfist meta. I'm calling him God Doomfist because the good Doomfist players are going to be they're going to terrorize ladder, man. Like, good Doom players are going to be some of the most dangerous tanks in the game, and I think with how mobile he is, on top of all the utility he's going to get now, it's hard. It's like, he's just going to be an insane character. So I'm going to put Doomfist in S tier. Diva, I'm going to put in B tier. Like, I think a lot of these heroes are just kind of mid. Like, I don't think they're exceptional, but they're not bad either. I think Diva is like pretty good. Good Divas can get a lot of value. I actually do think Diva is, well, I actually going to put Diva in A tier. I'm going to put Diva in A tier for a couple reasons. One, I think she can peel Tracer very well, and she can peel her team. And two, she fits into the like a dive play style, which means that she could be pretty good on this patch. And the ability to peel for your backline might actually end up being good. But I'm a little unsure on this one. I think because she fits in well with a divey play style, like, she could be a decent pick. She's definitely, I just think she's better than these heroes are, which is why it's like, that's why I'm going to put her up here. I don't think she's going to be very high in the A category. I just think she's better than a lot of these B tier characters. Echo, I'm also going to put in A tier. I think Echo is an incredibly underrated character. Granted, like, you have to have the skill sets to get value, but with her hypermobility and her options that you can take at her skill ceiling, I mean, you guys have seen what I can do on Echo this past season when no one was really playing her, and with Sojourn Rail getting nerfed, I still think that Echo is going to be a very solid pick across the board, and she fits in well with Dive and with the support meta that I think is going to be coming in here, which I will talk about. Genji, I just think Genji's awful, honestly. I think they gutted the character. He does fit well. I can't rightfully say that he's worse than Cass. I can't, because, again, Genji is still decent in my opinion because he fits into the dive play style, but he's certainly not a character that forces the meta, especially after his nerfs too. I just don't see Genji being a top tier pick anytime soon. I mean, he was barely fitting into the meta beforehand, and now that they've dumpstered him, I just don't see him being that good, especially compared to a lot of the other DPS. Now, here's some more differences. Again, Hanzo. I actually think Hanzo is easily the worst hero in the game. I've played Hanzo for 37 seasons. I've played him in pro play. I was known for my Hanzo. I was rank 1 on Hanzo. I've never seen a state where the hero is this pitiful. Everyone besides myself and a few others were saying that he was super broken in Overwatch 1. We told everybody it's not that he's good. He's just good at what's forcing what's broken with Sigma cooldowns, breaking shields, Orisa Fortify, BAP drone, etc., etc. And when all of those super broken cheese abilities are removed from the game, he's actually going to be pretty like middle of the pack, maybe bad. And no one listened. And so, now we do see the game change like that. And I think to no surprise, the Hanzo players were pretty right in predicting that, hey, I think he's really going to struggle. And Hanzo has absolutely nothing to pick him for. He's not the best duelist. He's not the best sniper. His ult is very underwhelming. It's decent into Kiri ult, but it's pretty easy to avoid. So he just doesn't excel at anything in the game. So I think Hanzo, and he's also super diveable, is a D tier pick. Junker Queen. Junker Queen got some buffs, but I'm going to put her in B tier, and she could be in C tier as well. As long as Kiriko is the best support in the game, which I think we're going to get to her in a second. Junker Queen is going to struggle because of the cleanse effect, just removing her healing and completely negating her ultimate. So I think Queen, even though she did get some buffs to her, she got some buffs. I think she's still going to be a B tier hero. Excuse me. So yeah, Jay Silly Junkrat, dude. Junk is B tier. I actually think Junk is better than a lot of these picks. I almost want to put these guys in C tier. Putting Junkrat in A tier, like, I wish I could put him in B plus. We're gonna put Junk in B plus because I almost want to put the rest of these heroes in C tier because Junk, I think, is the second best projectile hero in the game right now. Like, mostly, actually, only because of his one-shot combo. Like, his combo is what makes him good, and good Junk players, like, you see good Junk players on top 500 ladder, and you see them in comp. Like, there are a lot of situations where Junk is good. I would actually take Junk over a lot of these characters, depending on the map. So he has his maps for sure. I think Junkrat's actually in a great place right now. So, yeah, we're going to put Junk in B tier. Kiriko. Still an S tier character. They nerfed her ult, which needed to happen, but it's still incredibly powerful. It's still an insane win condition. It's still like you still don't really want to fight in it. Her ability to heal and most importantly, dual tracer, I think is going to be super, super important. Her cleanse is great into Doom ult and Pulse Bomb, who are going to be two of the dominant characters in this meta, I believe. So I'm going to put Kiriko in S tier still. I think she's still the best support in the game. Alongside Lucio, who didn't have any changes this patch, but he still just has the best options and playstyle that fits into Overwatch 2. Beat Drop is a fantastic ult. Good Lucio player, super high skill ceiling. He does well into dive and against dive. He just has a lot of options to be both proactive and peel. So because of that, we're going to put him in S tier again. Mei, I'm going to put in B tier as well. She's, again, I don't think these heroes are bad. I just don't think they excel into what's good in the game right now. So we'll see if more options come into play down the line. We could see Mei come back in. I think that she's mediocre. Mercy, I'm also going to put in B tier. I think that if Echo Mercy can be very good into Doomfist Tracer, amongst other things. And I don't think Mercy's bad. Well, Mercy can be bad, but she's not unpickable abysmal. Like, I think Hanzo is in high-level play just kind of unpickable. Like, he's in his own tier of terrible. But Mercy, especially on the right maps with like Pharah Mercy or Echo Mercy or maps with a lot of high ground that you can't rush easily on, she definitely can get a good value pocketing a good DPS player and making that happen. So I think Mercy is like middle of the pack with a lot of she's just not where these characters are. Moira, bad. I think Moira just cannot compete with Kiriko in my opinion. I think, especially at high-level play, she can't really help her DPS and heal her DPS at range. She's a very solo, brawly playstyle hero. I just think Kiriko is better than her at literally every level, as she should be, right? As Kiriko, she's a harder hero to play. You have to hit headshots. Her ult is better. I think that's the amount of reward a character that's as easy as Moira is to play should give you. Orisa, I'm also going to say B tier. I'm not going to put her in A tier. I'm so unsure about this diva, to be honest with you. Yes, she can spear Doom. Yes, she can do all that stuff. But the thing is, Doom, she can't engage on backlines or peel her team very well. And her ultimate is still bad. If Terra Surge was actually an ultimate that could kill something, Orisa would be A tier in my opinion. But Terra Surge is just such a bad ult that Orisa doesn't have a default win con on her kit because it's so weak, right? Doomfist, has a ton of win cons. Diva has a ton of win cons. Echo's copy can be a win con. Kiriko ult is a win con. Beat is a win con. Like, these are all very strong ultimates, and Orisa is just a little lackluster in hers. Pharah, B tier. I think Pharah is just worse Echo. She's less mobile Echo. She can be good, but like, it takes a specialist on the hero to really take that hero to its limits and have it be effective. So I don't think she excels at anything. Ramattra, the moment of truth. Where do you guys think I'm going to put him? Wah. He's just mid. Well, okay. I'm going to put him in A tier. But this is low A tier. Like, this is borderline. I want to give him a B+. He's a B+ with Junkrat, right? You know, actually, we don't even, tell you what, we don't, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Oh, nope, go down. Go down. Because honestly, like, there's no hero that are, like, we'll just have C tier. And then B+. Because honestly, I feel like this is a more accurate representation of what's going to go on here. I think, like, because I think this is a more realistic gap as to, like, what the heroes are, because honestly, once the heroes get below B tier, there's not, like, they're so bad that it's just diminishing returns. Like, at that point, everything is so bad that it doesn't really matter. And I think that there is a difference between some of these characters. I almost want to put I want to put Genji in B+ too. I think, well, I would take Genji over Cass because he can fit in the dive playstyle. Yeah, Ramattra, he struggles too much against poke, but his ult is good enough on the right maps that are really close quarters where there's not a lot of distance that he has to cover that I think he will see some, like, you can absolutely play him and pop off. Mainly because of that ultimate, though. I think the rest of, like, his mid-fight kits are just incredibly underwhelming, but his ult can clear a point, and most importantly, his ult is very good into Kiriko ult. Like, Kitsune, which is one of the best win conditions in the game, can be completely mitigated by Ramattra's ult, which is why I think he might see some playtime. But I think in general, Doomfist is just going to be a pub stomper, especially, I say that with some bias as somebody who already knows Doomfist, but the good Dooms are going to go crazy. So, yeah, Reaper. I think Reaper's A tier. I think Reaper and Echo are about the same. I think on the ground, if people are playing Ramattra, Reaper is going to be very good into Ram, and he can survive the Doom dive and pressure Doom pretty well. So, I think I'm going to say Reaper is A tier. Rein, I'm going to say is B tier, not B+. I think Ram is just kind of not a better Rein, but I think that with the dive, fast-paced playstyle, Rein's not going to have anything he can engage on that's good. He can't engage on Doomfist. He can't engage on Kiriko. He can't engage on Lucio. He can't really engage on Reaper. He can't really engage on Echo. And we're going to keep going down the line here in the cast and talking about, like, what's good and what's not. So he doesn't have anything that, like, if one of these heroes are being picked that he can actually, like, run over, he could be decent. But the heroes that are strong are hyper-mobile, and Rein won't be able to catch them. So Rein, going to be B tier. Hog, in ranked, I'm going to say is A tier, maybe S tier, because he's so, like, they need to change Hog, because Hog is just so easy to get value on. It's so, like, you take the one shot off of Doom, because tanks shouldn't one shot, but you leave Hog in the game. I really hope to see Blizzard change Hog. I think he's way too easy and way too good for what he requires, and he's just a cornball hero. He's just corny, right? And I don't think that a tank like that is healthy for the game, in my opinion. Sigma, I'm also going to put an A tier. I think Sigma has been slept on. He has his maps where he's incredibly strong. He's very good into Roadhog. He can rock Doomfist. So, yeah, on the right maps, I think Sig can put in a lot of work. And if they pick, like, Ram or Diva or something, Sig is just better at poking than the rest of these characters are. So, yeah, I'm going to say that Sigma is an A tier hero on the cusp of being very good. Now, all right. Sojourn. She can't one-shot anymore. She's not going to be good. Greetings. She can't. Sam, they took away the one-shot. She's not going to be OP. Sojourn is still going to be one of the best DPS in the game. Her mobility options are still fantastic. Her utility is still fantastic. Just because you take away the one-shot, she has two forms of damage that build off each other incredibly well, right? Like, her ability to, like, a good hit scan player's ability to build up the railgun, like, she literally has two different forms of damage at once, in that, like, you're doing damage with her primary fire, which got buffed, and then the railgun with the secondary fire is just additional damage, like, almost for free. And the way that stacks on with each other, she'll still be able to burst down targets very quickly. I think she's going to be much more fair now, but she just fits into that style of play so much better than any other hit scan in the game, really. Like, her mobility is better than Cass. It's better than Soldiers, who we're going to get to next. It's better than Hanzo's. She can contest a lot of things. Overclock is still an incredibly good ultimate. She can survive and move away from Doomfist. She can slide away from Hog and force Hog to take a lot of damage. She can build on... Like, she just has a lot of options. She's good into Ramattra. She's just a very good hero in general. I still think she's going to be incredibly dominant. She just won't be as oppressive as before. Soldier... Nah, he's too... Soldier is just too diveable, man. Like, these characters, like, they're too easy to punish. So I'm definitely going to put Soldier in B tier. Sombra, I'm going to put in B+. With the meta being super dive-oriented and Doomfist being incredibly good, and potentially Ramattra and Hog and Sig being good as good tanks, Sombra is indirectly good into all of these heroes, right? So if these heroes are really strong, I think she'd be bad, but I think that Sombra definitely has an edge over these characters here, but she's definitely not up quite where these characters are as well. Symmetra got some buffs. I think she's middle of the pack. She's not exceptional at anything, but there's absolutely maps where she can get a lot of value. But if the meta is hyperdive, it's gonna be very difficult to get value on Sim. Torbjorn, I actually think is B+. Torb has self-sustain. He's hard to dive because he has his overload, right? He has a turret, which is great against dive and can force these characters out. Molten Core is great into Kitsune. It's great into Beat. It's great into Hog. Like, it can really force people off and deny space on the map. So I think Torbjorn is B+. I think he's in the same boat as Junkrat. I think the best projectile heroes go Echo, Junk, Torb, or maybe these two are interchangeable, but I think those are the best projectile heroes in the game for the flex DPS role. And I think Torb is definitely better than a lot of these characters are. Tracer. I think Tracer might be the best hero in the game on this patch. Tracer is going to be insanely good. You're going to see a ton of Tracer in top 500. She's probably going to decimate plats, and I feel very bad for support players because, man, I mean, y'all got shafted on this patch. I won't lie. Especially if you don't play Lucio or Kiriko, y'all are going to get obliterated. So good luck, have fun, fellas. All I got to say, Tracer is super dominant. Widow is on the cusp of being super broken. She's definitely a B+ hero. Like, good Widows can still dominate games. I almost want to put... See, it depends on the map, right? If you get... I got to keep her in B+, but, like, just to be clear, Widowmaker is on the cusp of being an insanely strong hero. So, like, this is, like, a big asterisk on Widow. Like, she could be nuts out of nowhere. Winston, I'm going to put in A tier, I think... Actually, maybe I'm going to put him in B+. I think Winston is just going to be worse Doom on this patch, and they just go Hog or Sig and just blow you up. So I think Winston is good. He's definitely better than these characters, but I don't think... These are not in order, by the way. I don't think that he's better than what's going to be up here, in my opinion. Wrecking Ball. Garbage. Absolute trash. Ball, well, okay. Ball, he has so many heroes that you can just pick and farm him, and it's just his uptime in terms of doing what's valuable to win games is just so low compared to Overwatch 1 that they need to reevaluate Ball as a hero and try to figure out what he fits into. Like, you can win games on Ball. It's just so much harder to get equal reward to what's really easy to do on all these characters. So I think they need to find out how to make Ball more consistently active in the fight, and then maybe we'll talk about it. Zarya, I think she's bad. I think Zarya's just kind of bad. I'm going to put her in B tier. I don't think she's exceptional. I don't think she's as good. She doesn't have the mobility, so the only thing that she could really do is do a lot of damage, but if you take that damage away, the mobility options are just better. So Zarya going to be B tier, as well as Zenyatta. Like, Zen has his maps where he's good. He's not bad. Like, these 3 characters, I think, are the worst in their role. Each of them. Like, none of these characters excel at anything. But Zen, like, these characters have some places where they can excel. These characters have a good place, like, a good amount of places where they can excel. These characters can excel generally, and these characters are going to dominate. So, yeah, that's my 36 character tier list. Ramattra ended up being mid. Welcome to God Doomfist Tracer meta. These characters are going to be insane. I mean, I don't think this is going to surprise anybody, but we'll see what ends up coming to fruition. I see myself playing a lot of Doom, a lot of Echo, and a lot of Kiriko on next pack. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you all learned something, and hopefully we hit this meta right again. I think for the most part we will, though. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.